let's we open a new file from the file menu and put it to the 17:2 by 630, and resolution will be the 144 for the our retina display this size. And let's go to the view menu. From there we choose the new guide. Let's cancel this one. From the view again, new guide layout select, and from there let's put for the column is the 8, number 8, and for the row 2, and click OK. Now we will have this 8 column and 2 row. Now let's select the rectangular tool from the toolbox and drag a shape, a rectangular, and now let's put the control or command plus T in order to transform this shape and match it with our upper row with the 3 column. And now let's press Alt or Option key from the keyboard in order to duplicate this layer. So now we have the 2 rectangular shape. Let's select again the rectangular toolbox from the toolbar and select a shape in the left bottom row. Press the Ctrl or Command T in order to transform this, and let's again select the another rectangular and drag and draw a rectangular shape. Let's drag and draw another rectangular shape. And click OK. After we transform this shape, let's now select the rectangular tool again and drag and draw another shape in our top row. Press the Ctrl or Command T from the toolbar in order to transform this shape. Again click OK. Let's we make it zoom in order to close the gap between these two shapes. We will keep only a few pixels between these two shapes, the upper two shapes. So we will have only a few pixels and click OK. Now let's zoom out again. And same for this shape also in our third shape from the bottom line. Let's press the Ctrl or Command T in order to transform this shape and click OK. Let's zoom in a little bit to see this gap, and so we can reduce this gap by a few pixels only. Let's zoom out, press Ctrl or Command 0 in order to get the actual size of this document. And let's we make sure that in the every side of this shape has same pixel. Press Ctrl or Command T from your keyboard in order to transform in that particular shape. And click OK. And now let's select this one, rectangular 2, and let's we press the Control or Command T from the keyboard in order to transform this shape, and click OK. And let's we pick the rectangular 5, which is the top row in our document. And now we take some image from our image folder. Let's convert this image to the smart object and drop it to our main document. Now we have to resize this image, and let's bring this layer in top of the rectangular one and click the mouse right button and select Create Clipping Mask, and press Ctrl or Command T in order to transform this image and to put in the exact shape of our top right hand shape. Let's press OK. Let's bring the another image from the image folder. Let's convert it to the smart object and bring it to our main document. And let's bring this layer to the top of the rectangular 5 and right button of the mouse and select the Create Clipping Mask. And let's transform this one by Ctrl or Command T. And we put these 3 pieces of this girl image in our top row, top left hand shape, and click OK. Now we bring the another image from our image folder and let's convert it to the smart object, and let's drag and drop it to our main document. And again let's drag this layer to the top of the rectangular 1 copy and click the mouse right button and select the Create Clipping Mask in order to clip this image inside this shape in the right bottom shape. And let's resize it by Ctrl or Command T from our keyboard. Press OK, and we have to resize it again by Ctrl or Command T from the keyboard and press OK. Now we bring the another image from the image folder. Let's convert it to the smart object and bring this one to our document, and click the mouse right button and select Create Clipping Mask and put it in the top of the rectangular 4 and press Ctrl or Command T from the keyboard in order to transform this image. And let's resize it more in order to show this our few product images in this shape. Let's select the rectangular 3 and let's bring this image from the image folder. Let's convert it to the smart object and let's bring it to our main document. Make sure this layer, this image, is in top of the rectangular 3 and click the mouse right button and select the Create Clipping Mask. Let's press the Ctrl or Command T in order to transform this image and press OK. And now let's bring our last image from the image folder and let's convert it to the smart object and bring it to our main document. And make sure that this layer is the top of the rectangular 2 shape, and make sure that you click the right mouse button and select create clipping mask, and then press Ctrl or Command T in order to transform this image to show these 3 different product in this shape. Let's resize it again, and let's select the ellipse tool from the rectangular shape toolbox and drag and draw a round shape in our top row. Let's bring this shape layer to the top side and select the move tool in order to move this round shape in the document. And let's put this round shape between these 2 pages, and we can give it the fill color to the dark gray. And we make a copy of this round shape by drag to the create new layer, so you have the 2 copy, and let's select the last one, the ellipse 1 copy, and then Ctrl and Command T to make it a little bit smaller, and from the border pixel we put it 6, and the line would be the dot line. Let's select the dash 2 and gap would be the 2, make it OK, and the border color would be the red. And let's make the fill color to the green. Let's select the custom shape from the toolbar and we bring this ribbon shape. We select the ribbon shape and we will drag and draw a ribbon shape. And we don't have the filling color. Let's put a filling color, and we don't give a border pixel now. We put this ribbon color to red, and let's reposition in this one by selecting move tool or press B key from the keyboard. And now we press the T key from the keyboard or select this T from the toolbox and we write cells. And again let's select the move tool and we resize this text, make it center, and another text layer we will press again T to get the another layer text layer and write font. Let's increase the text size to 61 pixel for the font. Let's zoom in. Let's select both of this text layer and we give the black color, and let's press again T or to make a text layer and write save 75%. So we have the another text layer and give this size to 45 pixel, and make sure this one also black color, and let's reposition this with by selecting move tool. Let's select the smart guide tool from the view menu. Let's we decrease the size again for this shape 75% to 36 pixel. Let's again press the T key from the keyboard or select the T from the toolbox and click on our top right hand shape and write cells and give to the 56 pixel for this text layer, and press again T to get a new text layer and write mania. Let's increase this text layer size to 70. Let's reposition it. Let's again make a text layer and write 75%. Again a new layer and write discount. Let's increase the size of the discount to 80 pixel, and let's reposition this 75%. Let's decrease the size of the discount again to 40 and press B or move tool in order to reposition this text layer. And now let's select the our shape one and select the FX menu from the bottom layer panel and select the bevel and emboss. From there select inner bevel, smooth, depth is 100%, and increase the size to 13. Let's again increase the depth to 4, and look how our ribbon is changing. And let's make the size to 6 and click OK. And now let's again select the ellipse one tool, and from there select the bevel and emboss. Let's change the size only, make it to 6. And that's it for now. We have an awesome Facebook cover for the e-commerce shopper. Thank you for joining this lecture.